What is going on, y'all? FaizSportsTalk back at it with another video talking, of course, a little NFL. And it is time to play a game in which I like to call overrated, underrated, or just right. Okay, basically, I'm going to be taking a look at every starting quarterback in the NFL and deciding if that quarterback is overrated, underrated, or rated just right. Okay, so we're going to go through all 32 starting quarterbacks and take a look at that. But before I do, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe. I do talk a lot of NFL on this channel, and I do post daily and weekly videos, so you don't want to miss out. So with that being said, make sure to go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button down below. Make sure to turn on the post notifications, and make sure to follow me on my social media platforms, my Twitter, my Instagram. Those are the best ways to reach out to me and hit me up. So with that being said, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? Okay, this is in no particular order. I'm actually going off of division, just the list that I have here. So with that being said, the first quarterback that we have is Josh Allen. And to me, Josh Allen is overrated. He's actually quite overrated to me. And here's why. Look, Josh Allen does have talent. He's got a cannon of an arm. He definitely has a big arm. But we've seen guys in this league that have had big arms. Jay Cutler comes to mind. And Jay Cutler didn't do squat, right? Really, in terms of winning, anything meaningful. And so with Josh Allen, what I'm starting to see is he's starting to pop up on some QB lists. He's starting to be talked about as a reason for the Bills being good. And here's the thing. Credit to the Buffalo Bills because they've made it work with Josh Allen. But the Bills win mainly because of their defense and their run game. Not Josh Allen. Josh Allen, to me, he's inaccurate. He, runs around a little too much. He's not good within the confines of the pocket. He's a little bit of a backyard football type of quarterback to me. And like I said, credit to the Buffalo Bills who have found a way to make it work around him like a good team should. But to me, Josh Allen is starting to be talked about as a solid, good quarterback. And to me, he's not there yet. Okay. Could he get there? Sure, I'm sure he could because he's got the talent to, but right now he's not there yet. And folks need to stop talking about the Bills as if Josh Allen's the reason. It's not. It's the defense, it's the running game, it's the coaching staff more so than Josh Allen. There's a lot of other quarterbacks that can do what Josh Allen is doing with the Bills. Let's move on to Sam Darnold. And to me, Sam Darnold is very underrated, folks. Here's the thing with Sam Darnold. People forget he was supposed to be the number one overall pick back in that draft where Baker Mayfield, I believe, was taken the number one overall. And folks, I'm telling you, I think the Browns made a mistake because Sam Darnold, to me, is better than Baker Mayfield. And Sam Darnold has nowhere near the same type of surrounding and players around him that a guy like a Baker Mayfield does. I mean, who have the Jets given Sam Darnold, okay, in his few years in the league? I mean, literally, Adam Gase is a train wreck. Le'Veon Bell looks like he's a little washed up. I can't name a damn receiver on the Jets. Well, I can, but a lot of people can't, okay? They got guys like Jamison Crowder. Their best receiver, Robbie Anderson, left in free agency. So, like, literally the skill position players are awful. The offensive line was awful. They addressed it a little bit this year. They took a big guy in Mekhi Becton this year in the draft. But point being is the Jets have not surrounded Sam Darnold with the lad, and he has still found a way to be halfway decent. And to me, that says a lot to me. I think Sam Darnold is underrated. Okay, moving on to Jarrett Stidham. And to me, Jarrett Stidham, I mean, I shouldn't really have an opinion on him because, again, he hasn't done much. But to me, I don't think Jarrett Stidham's very good. I could leave this one as like a TBD, undecided type of thing. But if I had to pick, probably pick overrated because I don't think he's very good. And if people think he's good, I disagree. Then we've got, again, with the Dolphins here, I'm going by division. We're in the AFC East. You have Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua Tagovailoa. Tua I like, so I'm not going to make an opinion on him because he hasn't played yet. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, to me, he's rated just right. People know what Fitz is. He's a backup quarterback in this league. He'll come in, start a few games, play well. Then he'll get a big fat contract. Then he'll suck again. Then he'll get benched. And then he'll replace the starter. And he'll play well. And he'll get a big fat contract. And then the cycle repeats. Okay, that's Ryan Fitzpatrick for you. Moving on to the AFC North. Joe Burrow. Can't rate him yet. Hasn't played. Baker Mayfield. Overrated. In fact, the most overrated quarterback in the entire NFL. Yes, I said it. Folks, can I just say this? Baker Mayfield has the best weapons in the NFL. Yes, over the Kansas City Chiefs because they have a better running game. Literally have one of the best running backs, Nick Chubb, one of the best backup running backs, I should say, in Kareem Hunt. One of the best receivers, Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, 2 good tight ends in Austin Hooper, David Njoku, a solid offensive line. Defense is pretty good. They got Myles Garrett, new coach now. Like, there's no excuses for Baker Mayfield anymore this year. The Browns better make the damn playoffs because I know a lot of other quarterbacks that would make the playoffs with that roster. Last year, Baker Mayfield, 22 touchdowns and 21 interceptions. Are you kidding me? That team last year should have made the playoffs. And this Browns team better make the playoffs this year or Baker Mayfield is going to be playing for his job, because I don't understand why Baker Mayfield is considered one of the, up-and-coming better quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, again, I thought his rookie season where he threw the most, touchdown passes of rookies was okay, but he threw 14 picks. He turns the ball over way too much, okay? Baker Mayfield's overrated to me. There's so many other guys that would do so much better with the weapons that Baker Mayfield has. I mean, I just brought up Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold would thrive with the Browns. Okay, moving on to Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson, to me, is a little, just slight overrated. And here's why. Here's the only reason why. To me, you could say just right, but slightly overrated. Why? Because, again, I just haven't seen enough, right? So sample size isn't there. Obviously, he won MVP last year, so you don't want to take anything away. But I just want to see a little bit more of Lamar Jackson from the pocket. That's it. That's all I'm talking about. Clearly, as a runner, he's the best running quarterback we've ever seen, even more so than Michael Vick. But I just want to see it a little bit more. Now, he won the MVP, so it's hard for me to argue against that. That's what I'm saying. You know what? Just right. If you want to say that, fine. I don't have a big issue with Lamar Jackson. Moving on to Big Ben Roethlisberger. And to me, Ben Roethlisberger is rated just right. I think people know what Big Ben is, what he can do in this league. And, for the most part, he gets his respect. Okay, let's move on to the AFC South. Phillip Rivers. I think Phillip Rivers is a little underrated. Again, he hasn't won anything in terms of, games, significant games in this league, no Super Bowl wins. So I get that. But longevity matters. The fact that Phillip Rivers has been able to be consistent for this long matters. So I do think he's a little underrated. But again, I think for the most part, it's in that between just right and underrated. Phillip Rivers is who he is. Moving on to Gardner Minshew. I think Gardner Minshew is rated just right. I think, again, we've only seen him for a season now, so it's hard to say, but I liked what I saw. He doesn't have a lot surrounding him, so I'm not going to be too hard on Gardner Minshew. Moving on to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, to me, is probably rated just right. Again, people know that he's a damn good quarterback, one of the best in the NFL, but to me, he's not in the tier of a Patrick Mahomes or a Russell Wilson or perhaps, even an Aaron Rodgers, if Aaron Rodgers is at his best. But we know he's in that next tier right there, okay? Moving on to Ryan Tannehill, and I do believe Ryan Tannehill is overrated. Folks, look, yes, he was phenomenal last season when he took over for Marcus Mariota and they went on that Cinderella run the Titans did. But the Titans went as Derrick Henry went. They did not go as Ryan Tannehill went. And Ryan Tannehill got a fat contract. Okay? Derrick Henry's the guy that leads that team, and he is the workhorse of that team. I don't think the Titans would be able to replace Derrick Henry like they can replace Ryan Tannehill. So to me, everybody says running backs don't matter. Well, with the Titans case, they do, because Derrick Henry is a damn good running back. And to me, Ryan Tannehill, while he did play really good at the end of last season, Derrick Henry is still the best player. And people, perhaps look at Ryan Tannehill as a guy that, could be this guy for the future moving forward. But we've seen what Ryan Tannehill is in this league, okay? Moving on to the AFC West, Drew Lock. Okay. Drew Lock. He's overrated, folks. Look, I know he's only played a season, and it's like, how can you say that, Faiz? But in the damn season last year, folks are taking that little sample size and just running away with it. And, looking at Drew Lock as a breakout candidate, he could. He's got weapons around him. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, they drafted this year. KJ Hamler, they got Melvin Gordon. Like, the team is good. The team is good. Can we just lower the expectations on Drew Lock a little, just a tiny bit? Like, I'm sorry, Drew Lock, again, last year, about, 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 picks, something along those lines. But again, just wait a little bit. I'm not ready yet, but from what everybody's saying, and they're just saying, Drew Lock's going to be just the next big thing, I don't see it. So I'm going to say overrated. Moving on to Justin Herbert and Tyrod Taylor again. Justin Herbert can't say much. He hasn't played yet. Tyrod Taylor, I think he's just right. He's who he is. He's a backup quarterback in this league. Patrick Mahomes, just right. And again, might be even a little underrated. People try to hate on him. Patrick Mahomes is, to me, literally, what can you say about this guy? MVP, Super Bowl MVP. You know what? He's just right. Okay, forget the underrated part. He's rated just right. People know, if you don't think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, I don't know what to tell you. It sounds like a you problem, okay? Because he is. Moving on to Derek Carr. Derek Carr is a tough one. Derek Carr is a tough one because to me, there's times where I feel like he's underrated and there's times where I feel like he's overrated. So to me, I'll probably put him in just right. People know who Derek Carr is. He's an average quarterback in this league. He's not awful. He's not great. He's average, and that's who he is. That's Derek Carr. So there you go. All right, let's move on to the NFC East, and we go to Dak Prescott, who to me is overrated. Yeah, I think Dak is fairly overrated, folks. And here's the thing. Look, Dak is a solid, steady starting quarterback. I don't think he's garbage or anything like that. He's actually very durable, coachable. He's got some nice traits. But here's the thing with Dak and why he's overrated. He's not the best player on the team. That's Ezekiel Elliott. And when things are not like 100% right for Dak, he can't carry you. So if Ezekiel Elliott's not having a good game, if the defense is giving up points and we need Dak to carry us, put us on your back, Dak, and take us to the promised land, can't do it. And when he does it, it's against inferior opponents and garbage teams. And he's been beating up on the NFC trash teams like the Redskins for the most part the last couple of years and the Giants, right? And so that inflates his numbers and makes him look better than he is. Again, is he a solid, steady quarterback? Yes. But is he an elite quarterback? Absolutely not. And that's why I think he's overrated when people try to put him in that category because he's not elite. Okay? Let's move on to Carson Wentz. And to me, Carson Wentz is underrated, folks. Here's the thing. There's one issue everybody has with Carson Wentz, and they run away with it, which is his durability. I get it. The guy has trouble staying healthy. Got it. But if that is your only knock on him, fine. Other than that, Carson Wentz is phenomenal. Big, strong arm. Literally, the year when he went down and that Tom Brady won the MVP, he would have won the MVP. He had 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Folks, he is a franchise quarterback in this league. Carson Wentz doesn't have a lot of weaknesses, and I'm telling you right now, he is underrated. The Eagles would not be the same team without him. And yes, they absolutely made the right decision letting Nick Foles go versus Carson Wentz. If I needed to explain that for some people. Okay, moving on to Daniel Jones. And here's the thing with Daniel Jones. I think he's a little overrated. And here's why. Daniel Jones, to me, people think that he is, going to be very, very good. That is kind of where I disagree and why I put him a little overrated. Last year was solid as we're here, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. But Daniel Jones has solid weapons around him. You got Saquon, right? You got Golden Tate, who's a solid receiver. Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram. He's got nice skill pieces. And he did perform. The only reason I'm saying a little overrated to me is because I do see him turning into a steady, solid quarterback. Nothing phenomenal. And so that's why. And so to me, like I said, Daniel Jones, a little overrated slightly, but not too much, okay? Moving on to Dwayne Haskins, and to me, it's probably just right. I don't think a lot of people think Dwayne Haskins is very good. I don't think he's very good. So to me, I'm going to say just right. Moving on to the NFC North. We have got Kirk Cousins, who to me is very underrated. Folks, Kirk Cousins is so disrespected in this league. It is absolutely sad. And here's why. Last year, Kirk Cousins, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. The year before, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. This man won a playoff game over Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints, who were heavy favorites in that game. On the road, by the way. And he gets talked about like he's just some garbage quarterback. Kirk Cousins literally gets disrespected left and right, and he shouldn't be. He is a very solid starting quarterback in this league. I just told you the numbers. There's a lot of quarterbacks that would love to have those numbers. There's a lot of teams that would love for their quarterback to have those numbers. Put some respect, please, on Kirk Cousins' name because he is a damn good quarterback, okay? Moving on to Aaron Rodgers. And to me, it was not the case a few years ago, but he has become very underrated. I've seen lists, folks, where people are putting Aaron Rodgers like 10th best, in terms of top 10 quarterbacks. Folks, do I need to remind you who Aaron Rodgers is? Yes. Has his play dropped off a little bit the last couple of seasons? I got it. But Aaron Rodgers has not fallen off the face of the earth. People out here thinking he's washed up. Are you kidding me? There's only 2 quarterbacks at their best that I would take over Aaron Rodgers right now. Maybe one, Patrick Mahomes, and maybe Russell Wilson. But Aaron Rodgers at his best versus any other quarterback, the only guy you can make the argument is Patrick Mahomes. That is how good Aaron Rodgers is. And he's getting disrespected so much, folks. I'm telling you right now, the disrespect on Aaron Rodgers is flat out insane. That's why I tell you he's underrated, okay? Moving on to Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles. Here's the thing with Mitchell Trubisky. Again, if you guys follow me, you guys might know what I'm going to say here. I think he's underrated a little bit. And here's why. With Mitchell Trubisky, we've seen 1 good season and 1 bad season, okay? I'm throwing out his rookie year with John Fox because that doesn't really count. And John Fox was an absolute train wreck. Okay, it's 2 years with Matt Nagy. 1 good year, 1 bad year. And when you come out of 1 good year and 1 bad year, what should you be rated as, right? Just decent, right? But Mitchell Trubisky, when he has a good season, people ignore it. When he has a bad season, you flock to it, and everybody just says he's absolute garbage. Now, Mitchell Trubisky, does he have any accuracy issues? Absolutely. But does he have talent and traits that you can utilize him with? Absolutely. You can use his legs. He's a solid runner. He's got good pocket presence in the sense of being able to, scramble in and out. Mitchell Trubisky's mobile, and also he does have an arm, okay? And I brought up Josh Allen. I'm telling you right now, I believe if you took out Josh Allen and put in Mitchell Trubisky in the Buffalo Bills offense, he can do the exact same thing. I'm telling you. You guys might disagree. I'm telling you, he can. And that is why I believe coaching has been a bit of an issue with Matt Nagy not being able to utilize Mitchell Trubisky properly, but also with the Bears not being able to, get Mitchell Trubisky the right help he needs. The offensive line wasn't very good last year. The running game wasn't good last year. You got to help out the quarterback a little bit, and they haven't been able to do that. Again, he's shown you a successful season. 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 3rd best QBR in the NFL, took him to the playoffs. If Cody Parkey hits that damn kick, they're going further in the playoffs. And who knows? The story on Mitchell Trubisky is different. But again, he's written off as garbage, the worst quarterback in the NFL. I just don't think he's that bad. Is he great? No. But I don't think he's that bad. That's why I say he's underrated. Okay? Nick Foles, to me, is just right. He's a solid average starting quarterback to a really, really good backup quarterback. That's what he is, okay? Moving on to Tom Brady. I think he's rated just right. People know he's the GOAT. He's 43 now, so obviously we're expecting a little bit of a drop-off, but that's fine. Matt Ryan, I think he's just right, too. People know who Matt Ryan is. He's a solid, steady quarterback. He's won an MVP in this league. He's not, to me, elite, but he's just on the cusp of it, okay? If you want to say a little underrated, sure. Teddy Bridgewater. I think Teddy Bridgewater is a little overrated. This is a guy who's not thrown more than 14 touchdowns in a season, and people think all of a sudden, from 5 games with the Saints, he's the next best thing. I think Teddy Bridgewater is okay. I don't think he's anything great. Probably average to below average as a starting quarterback. Okay, Drew Brees. I think he's just right. People know how good Drew Brees is. Again, same thing with Tom Brady. We know he's old, so he's going to drop off a little bit. Finally, NFC West. Jimmy Garoppolo. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a little underrated, folks. I think a lot of people think, a lot of quarterbacks would be able to do what Jimmy Garoppolo did with the 49ers last year. Folks, he still threw 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Those are pretty good numbers. I mean, I'm just saying. So, Jimmy G, yes, the 49ers rely on the run game more so than Jimmy G. But to me, he's still a very solid quarterback. This is a guy who Bill Belichick wanted to take over Tom Brady. Just saying, okay? You wanted to keep him over Tom Brady. Moving on to Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, I think he's gonna be good. A little overrated maybe because people think he's gonna be the next Russell Wilson. I don't, but he's gonna be decent. So I'm gonna say just a little bit, but he's just right. Okay, Jared Goff. I think people kind of know now Jared Goff isn't like elite by any means. I think he's just right. People, if they think he's garbage, I'm not going to go there. But I think Jared Goff is okay. He's nothing special, okay? And then finally, Russell Wilson. I mean, what can I say? I think Russell Wilson's still underrated. People don't understand how good Russell Wilson is, folks. I mean, he is literally the reason the Seahawks are relevant, folks. He's the reason the Seahawks make the playoffs every year. Russell Wilson is so good in this as a quarterback, and I still don't think he gets the credit he deserves. So there you have it. All 32 starting quarterbacks, and then some in the NFL. Let me know what you guys think, if you agree or disagree. As always, thanks for watching.